All right, let's get started. I'll pull up the notes. Very good showing in here. I'm gonna see if there's anyone I haven't seen before. I guess so. Let me pull up the notes. But while I'm doing that, if there's anyone who hasn't been in here before who wants to introduce themselves, give everyone a couple of minutes. I think I recognize most of the people in this call though, but feel free.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning. Am I audible?
Hey, nice to meet you. What brings you here?
Yeah, my, uh, myself, Naveen, actually, I have 3+ years of experience in DevOps. So I'm passionate to work on DevOps area. So I feel Kaizen best suits to me. So I'm happy to collaborate and work with you all. So this is my first open source contribution.
Awesome. Well, welcome in. Looking forward to chatting more. Yeah, so today is July 8th, 2025. Welcome introduction. So newcomers, I think that's everyone who's new, just introduce themselves. As always, this meeting is recorded, just so you know. And then the CNCF code of conduct, just so we all follow. Okay, so there's not, it's kind of a, oh, actually, there's a topic for discussion, or no, I guess I guess I'll call this a topic. I know Sebastian has a demo, so I'll put that here. So the big announcement that I want to talk about, well, first of all, release updates. I just released 0.4.0 while in the last couple of hours. So that's a pretty big release. I'm going to be updating the release notes soon for all of those for all the information in that release. That was a really big release for us. The biggest part of that, well, just if we just look at the release really quick, let's see. See, we can see how many so many things changed. Look at this. So we had our just to shout out everyone. So there were some UI fixes from Fabian, which is absolutely awesome, related to namespaces. Um, Also, one of the biggest ones was that the tools were moved out and into Go, so they're no longer directly tied to our backend framework. What else? There was a bunch of changes to the README, and as well, we upgraded A2A to 0.2.0, so it conforms with the latest spec. So that is all done in this release. So thank you to everyone who's helped work on that. It's been seriously amazing. So much input from everyone. Um, and so the thing that I want to shout out, actually, as a part of that release, is also there are some. Well, the important thing I didn't just mention, and that like I said, I'll be updating the release notes is with breaking changes, because there were some breaking changes that were very important that needed to happen, but also just wanted to call them out for anyone who is upgrading from previous versions. Things are definitely different. So the thing that I want to call out is that the tools have moved to a new repo. So we just want to talk about that for a second and what brought that on. Actually, let me officially make that repo public right this second. Change to public. All right, let's do that really quick. 1 second. I'll do that. I'll do it live. Awesome. So now everyone should be able to click on that link. I'll give it a star if you want to. That'd be awesome. But basically, to kind of talk about this, so I've been talking to people at Solo and to Dimitro and other people, and the reason that we decided to move these tools out into a separate repo is because the more that we've been talking and the more that we've been in this community and in this space, we realize that the importance of tools and the structure of these agents and tools is such that we believe that these tools can be useful in tons of different situations, not just necessarily in Kagent, right? Obviously, we love Kagent. We think it's super useful and we use it for lots of different reasons. But we also have a huge set of tools that are generally useful, and we would love for people involved directly in Kagent and not to also get use out of our tools. And so what we've done here is on every release of this Kagent tools repo, we now publish, you can now run all of these tools as stdio tools if you want. And so we publish them in that way directly in the release. But we also, in addition, publish Docker containers. So you can run them as in your cluster, or you can run them locally in Docker container, but they also support streamable HTTP. So you can run them in cluster or remotely. So I think that's been, that was a pretty big change that we made, but we think overall that's going to be super healthy, both for the Kagent ecosystem and the general Kubernetes tooling ecosystem. And we're excited to see how that goes and where that updates. I haven't explicitly called this out in the repo yet, or I don't even know, or I guess Dimitro added code owners and he added himself, which is a good moment to announce or say that Dimitro is going to be a maintainer on this repo. So I want to congratulate him on that, and he's really done a ton of amazing work with our tools, and so I think it's something he absolutely deserves. And so just a quick shout out to Dimitro on all of his amazing work. So yeah, that's kind of all. I think that's a lot of what I have for today. So yeah, and this morning, Sebastian reached out to me about potentially doing a cool demo that he's been working on with Kagent. And so I think without further ado, I will pass it over to him to run. And I think actually right before I do, I just want to say that if anyone these meetings are very free form. So if anyone has anything that they want to demo, that they're talking about, they're doing, right, like we would love to hear it. Don't hold back. Like we all want to see the cool things that y'all are working on. So definitely bring it on.
Awesome. So congratulations, Dimitro. Do you want to have the mic for a second while
just
setting up?
I think in general it's really good direction, and also like the last few weeks I did some testing on my side with the tools running directly connected to the cursor, and we've seen some use cases which are emerging from that kind of direction. When you try to run it connected just to the remote VM, to the cloud environments and things like that, I think it will be really helpful. There are some work which will be definitely like adding like telemetry, adding some other enterprise features for the tools to make them more like aligned with all the community tools. Also, I see there is a pull request with kind of a roadmap where I try to highlight the potential direction. So everyone who wants and see some like useful features which you believe it needs to be prioritized, please create a pull request, contact me. We will be building really kind of the roadmap for the tooling itself. And also from damage control, right? If we change tools or do something, it's good that we have them now isolated so we can actually develop them without breaking the main Kagent and without like mixing these two things, because we've seen that the repo was too big. If you change like UI and tools and everything in the same time, it was kind of difficult to control it with a stable version. I think now we will have a really like a good release process with separate tagging and releases. As soon as it is stable, it will be integrated into the main Kagent. That's it from me.
That's great. Thank you so much, Dimitro. Can I ask a simple question? So the tools, I'm looking at the tools repo. For instance, there's Kubernetes tools, there's Istio tools, there's Helm tools. Now, if any of these projects publish the MCP server, which comes with the tools, would we recommend people to actually just using the MCP server tools, the official one, when the project have their own?
Yeah, we did it already, the same thing with Grafana. I think as soon as Grafana released it like open source version, we adopted it. basically, right now, most of the tools are just wrappers on top of CLIs, right? I think we need to work more in that direction to understand how this needs to be managed in future, to keep it up to date, to keep it in sync with the versions. I'm thinking about some sort of automatic generation based on the existing code, that you can basically generate most of MCP. This is probably the most proper way to handle that. Even the most of CLI frameworks, they use the same CLI Cobra or something as a framework. As soon as that will allow maybe like seamless integration with MCP at some point, and so on. But also the other direction is like we need to follow the general libraries. Like Go team is working to bring MCP as a standard framework support in the next version. They have currently internal build for MCP. There is MCP standard, library, all these updates. So we need to see, based on the maturity, the readiness of other tools, and if they will be providing like equivalent, like telemetry, for example, and other features, we will be adopting them.
Okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense. Awesome. So Sebastian, when you are ready, feel free to share your screen.
Yeah.
We're excited to.
Right. So it's funny that you are mentioning the MCP generation, because the thing that I want to show is exactly about this. It's it's a only a variation on the topic. So yeah. So last weekend exactly, I was working on decoupling the deployment of KAgent. And during that, I noticed that, for example, Grafana MCP that we are installing right now to the tool server have official Docker-based MCP server. So I thought that maybe it would be nicer to try to deploy this directly. So I created a chart for this. The chart. Maybe I will show you my IDE. Sorry, where is it? Yeah.
Just one comment on that. I think in the moment when we tried it, there were some difficulties with official MCP, which is Docker based. It was only working with kind of I don't remember what was that, but it was like working only with some local host configuration. So I think that's why we went this route.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't make it official. It's only a variation on the topic. So yeah. So yeah, where is it? Right, entire screen.
I don't see your screen. Sorry.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh. All right. So yeah. During this movement, I discovered the Grafana MCP, QueryDoc, and tool server, which is a subchart of the KAgent, right? But I found out that those Helm charts are pretty much the same. So I thought that maybe it would be nicer to try to make it, to use some standard. So I defined the library chart, which is a construction in Helm where you can define a common practice of deploying something. And this Helm chart have a pretty much extensive configuration. Right now, you can define stdio, you can define HTTP server, and depending on the option that you are choosing, it will deploy appropriate infrastructure. It still, it still needs some polishing, but after that, I decided to try to be more lazy than I was. So I defined agent. Maybe this one isn't the right one. This one is a agent that is able, edit will be better. So it have the instruction that tells the agent that he is responsible for reading documentation of specific tool and adjusting, picking the right and the most appropriate version of setting. I mean, STDIO or any other HTTP configuration. And here is this big value YAML. This is a demo. It should be remote, and why not? But for now, it's plain text. It's directly in system prompt. Sorry. So we can, for example, ask this agent to. We can give it a URL to some tool. Yeah, it could be okay. Why not? Let's try. I didn't try this one. So yeah, and we have one fail because it was trying to pull JSON, and after that, the README, yeah, quite extensive, and we will see if gods of them are on my side or not. Still executing. Yeah.
I just one comment from my side. Recently,
Come
by
on.
playing different models, I've noticed that it's sometimes important to have either like a Claude for syncing or this OpenAI syncing models for such tasks. This mini one is good when you have very clear prompt and tools and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You are totally right. It's the choosing the right model is always depends on the task that we are trying to solve, right? But right now it's not a problem of prompt; it's problem of something else. So yeah, gods of demo are not on my side.
Show us existing session if you have.
Yeah, I have, but let's try something different. Let's use the agent that orchestrate the work of that some sub agent and does the work, additional work on their side. So let's say that we want an MCP server for Redis, right? Yeah. So he is trying to reach a trusted source, which is a hub Docker. He is reading the overview of this, calling for the documentation, calling the agent. Let's hope that it will work right now.
Look at this call chain. It's so cool.
Yeah. And right now we have a fully, we have something else.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. So it already generates a structure for the Helm chart that we have to deliver to our infrastructure, to our local repo, whatever, and just run it on with these specific variables. And of course, it makes a to-do that you have to, define this one. And yeah, this is only, for demo purposes, it needs to be polished. I also thought that it would be cool if in future, for example, this agent create a pull request for adding a new MCP. So yeah, this is, I think that's all. If you want, we have also some different scenarios where we can, the Go, this is a simple one. But for example, we can, this is much better. A Terraform have two different MCP server definitions that we are able to pull and the agent is asking us which one we are interested in, right? Before proceeding to the passing the work to the sub agent. So yeah, that's all. Thanks.
Nice. So now if you add the
That's
pull
all
request,
he says.
if you add the pull request functionality, then someone could automatically basically go and just do a pull request for an MCP server to the tools repo if they wanted to, right?
Yeah, exactly. But
Nice.
it needs some polishing. The library chart is broken. before we had a call, I broke the library chart, so I need to fix it. I think I will. If you are interested on it, I can deliver it in next commit or something. So yeah,
Awesome.
thanks.
Yeah, wow, that was so cool.
Do we
I
think,
always love. Sorry, go.
sorry, do we think this might be useful to be as a sample agent with shipping K agent? This is super cool, by the way.
Even if it's not a sample, it should definitely be in a contrib somewhere. I mean, this set
Yeah.
of things is it's such a honestly, like, even if you were interested in doing like a blog or something and just like going through this, we could potentially put that on our website. And like I said, it's just a really cool, like, just like, you know what I mean? Like, that's such a, like, I feel like it's one of those use cases where in the past, maybe you'd write an operator, right? It's like not super complex. Maybe you'd write an operator, but you just wrote an operator in English,
Right.
So, which is crazy.
And like machines making machines, it's a ultimate success story. So if we are doing the K agent, we should have the agent for the K agent itself.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that's where we're going. So awesome. Really awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see what people are making. Agent. Yeah, I do. So yeah, I mean, we have A2A, but I do think that yeah, it's interesting. I mean, so there's a lot of changes going in terms of our REST API, but I do think that probably what we should do is also expose our REST API over MCP once that, because it's like, yeah, there's going to be that'll be really cool too, and just see what other agents or even K agent can do with itself. So awesome. Yeah, so that's all that we have planned for today. So if anybody has anything else they want to talk about, or feel free. Got another 15 minutes. So
Got a quick question, and probably it's something that I can follow up on Discord. I was looking into the option of using Google Cloud. I noticed Peter made a commit where he added Vertex AI Anthropic and Vertex AI Gemini. I think it's are the options. But when I look into the Helm chart file, the values, I don't see what's the structure that it's expecting, and how I should add the JSON file. The examples for other providers are using the access ID, access key ID, and the secret, but I didn't see an example for the Google piece.
I think it's the same. Oh, I'm just looking at it should be in the docs. I added an example to the docs. Let me see. Yeah, so the format should be exactly the same, more or less. There you go. I posted it in chat. But you will have to provide like the project ID and the location, and then create the secret. Basically, get your Google Creds JSON file and then create a secret out of it, right? And then reference that one. But yeah, I don't think we've added anything for this in the in the
Yeah.
Helm, and I
Uh-huh.
don't think there's anything in the UI either yet. I think.
Okay, I will give it a try and probably share up a PR with you and on the example that works for me. Okay,
Perfect.
thank you. I totally missed looking at the dogs. I was looking at the Helm chart when I was deploying.
I have just one question, if we have time. I've seen a couple of defects open that like using the docs together with Olama, and that was also like an issue when you try to run the docs doc2vec, with some different from OpenAI, it was not working. Do you think we should kind of rework it in the better way to have these docs supporting all the other default models by default?
So it's interesting because so it needs it for the embedding, or it needs it for completions.
Basically, if I
It's for
understand,
embedding.
the current one is just embedding. We just have a search by vector, and that's it.
Yeah, so there's the database files. The vector DBs are created with OpenAI specific embedding. So when you do a search, the query needs to get embedded with the same embedder.
It's like the same translator of text. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know if the solution here is to just create different versions of databases or to rather pick a encoder or embedder that works across all of them, right?
Well, we should probably just have, what we should do, most embedding solutions support the V1 embeddings API, right? The OpenAI embeddings API format. So I think if we just allow for setting the base URL, right, would that accomplish most use cases?
Not necessary, because I still believe that like Olama, for example, they have their slightly different version than Anthropic, and others, they have it differently. And also these URLs might be even not available. So it feels like we need to decouple the embedding configuration and embedding model completely, like to have a separate class of models for embeddings. And also I did some research on it, and I found that perhaps we can have a default embedder which is relatively small and runs on regular CPU, which doesn't need a GPU. And when I played with it a little bit, and I created like some proof of concept. So I would like to see maybe some feedback if anyone is in this area looking into that. I'll share in the chat just example of project, which can be.
Just one. So when I was looking at the memory features, right? Like we have the Pinecone, which uses the embedded embeddings. You don't have to provide. You don't have to do any embeddings, right? You just call with a pure string, and it does the embeddings on the Pinecone side, right? But when I was looking at that on how to like support other databases with like any embeddings, I think I got to a point where I was like, we need a model config like resource, but that's used for embeddings, or maybe have like model config resource where you can also define this is the embedding model that you can use if you want to, right? I don't think it's going to solve. It's not going to solve doc2vec, right?
Right, because doc2vec is a separate.
It's a hard coded database somewhere, and
right. Well, it's also a separate. It's in a separate repo, right? And it's not controlled by
on Hugging Face, you can find this MTab leaderboard where you can see all the embeddings which are available. And I played around like this all mini V2, which is showing a decent performance without requiring GPU. And I think this is for our use case where we have, this SQLite databases and everything. If we switch to this kind of type of database, it will work pretty much the same way without requiring this OpenAI connectivity, and we can connect it to all the models.
But this would be doc2vec, right? Only for now.
It will be exactly the same, everything the same, but in the place where you call right now the OpenAI embeddings, we will call just another Docker, another API.
Sure, but we would have to modify the databases that we already have, right?
We would need to re-index them. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we will also have to run this small model.
Yeah.
In the cluster, right?
We can combine it as a one package. Maybe we can actually join that MCP with this thing, and maybe even put like a quadrant or something. We can put it in quadrant format if that's better one. I mean,
but it would be doc2vec. If someone is using doc2vec, they would get the tool, the mini model, right, and everything they need to run that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how big those models are, right? And
I just see that this project Doc2vec, it was like not getting enough attention, and this is something that many of us will want to kind of bring for the sort of offline usage, where you want like some kind of enterprise with a private Doc2vec databases. And I think maybe we can do some testing, like performance testing for this embeddings and compare it. But,
may I ask
think
your user case for Doc2vec? You kind of mentioned it's for your enterprise doc. Is it mainly?
No. The Doc2vec is currently added to every of our products. We have like a small database which is in SQLite, and it's added to every agent as a documentation tool. The problem is, in order to use it, we can use it only with OpenAI right now. So if we deploy it, for example, with Ollama, you need, in addition, to provide OpenAI key, which not everyone possesses, right? Like some people definitely don't want it or don't have it.
Yeah,
and
I understood.
Also from a networking point, it's different URL. If you need to open firewalls or something, it's kind of a different API. For example, not everyone has that APIs in the corporate environments because they call Azure or they call something else. So that's why, like, maybe having a default embedding solution, because many databases, they bring these embeddings as a part of database. For example, Mongo, they bought one of the best embedding solutions now, and they are just going to release Mongo with all embeddings available inside. So you can just run Mongo and do embeddings and everything all together. Similar approaches are, I think, others, what Peter mentioned. They just give you like possibility to insert data and embeddings will happen automatically. I think this is more proper way instead of calling the APIs.
So basically, you're using it for having conversation style to search your internal doc for your internal user.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
If you need to search specific details, maybe, or if we index it, like in our current database, we have index of all Istio defects, right?
Mm.
For specific issue or defect, you may find a chunk of text which includes potentially additional information, right? So, and
I'm the same. I'm starting to look into ingesting, internal code base, knowledge base into things like DeepWiki or other, vectorizing. And privacy is one, but imagine you have a continual requirement of keeping all of that up to date, right? Your code base changes so often. How many thousands of dollars you're gonna pay OpenAI to transform this? It's gonna be privacy one, but definitely it's gonna be cheaper to run even the CPU based models to do that.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you to be aware
very
about.
valid requirement. Yeah. I was just curious. I mean, I'm very excited to see you all are using it, first of all. And I think the fact that you're using it a lot, that means OpenAI becomes painful for you and you want to look at some cheaper solution or free like Ollama. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think this is it's going to be a doc2vec. Yeah, I mean, we've talked before, Dimitri. I think there's a number of improvements we can make to doc2vec. for sure.
All right. Okay.
All right. Anyone else have anything they want to?
By the
Anyone
way,
else have anything they want to share?
oh, did somebody just fix our website? It was 500. Now it's back now. Oh, thank you.
Was it down?
Yeah, it was down with 500, but it's good. I was going to bring it up, so but it's good now.
Oh, what was down?
Oh, the doc site is down. If you go to kagent.dev/docs. Oh, that's what it's down.
No, that's good.
It works fine.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I see
Sorry.
it.
Maybe it's my problem. Sorry.
No, all good. Cool. All right. Well, unless anyone has anything else, I think we can jump off for the week. There's the bi-weekly contributors meeting on Thursday. For those who observe, I will see y'all there. And I have my I put up a draft. This is probably interesting to you folks. I put up a draft PR. It's massive of moving all of the database logic into Go. I'll just send it, but it's number 609 if you guys want to take a look before Thursday. So yeah, looking forward to chatting. And talk to y'all soon. Bye all.
Thank you.
Cheers, bye.
Bye.
Bye
Thank
all.
you.
Cheers, bye.
Bye.